welcome to the deep dive. Our mission here is, well, pretty simple. Take a whole lot of information and basically give you the strategic map to get through it. Today, we are doing a deep dive in something that can feel pretty intimidating for anyone trying to move up in their career.
The job interview.
Exactly. Especially when you have to handle those really high stakes questions in English.
Yeah, it's tough. And it's not just about, knowing the language. It's about strategic confidence.
Right.
Interviews are nerve-wracking anyway, but when you're kind of translating your thoughts live, those standard questions can feel like huge obstacles.
Definitely.
So we've gone through the sources, and our goal today is for you to walk away with like a toolkit. Clear, simple, but really powerful sentences.
Sentences designed to show not just what you know,
but who you are, and crucially, how you learn and grow.
Okay, let's get into it. We really have to start with that first moment, the icebreaker that kind of sets the whole mood.
The classic. Tell me about yourself.
Yeah, it sounds so simple, but people often just go on and on. Like it's their life story. What did the sources say? What's the formula?
Okay, so you need to deliver a really precise 4-part package. Think of it like your professional snapshot.
Okay.
Got to cover your name, obviously. Your origin. Something simple like I'm from Mexico.
Right.
Your experience, maybe I have 2 years of experience in sales. And then your education. Like I studied accounting at university.
And keep it brief.
Super brief, like 30 seconds max, no rambling.
That structure makes sense for clarity. But, if I'm the interviewer, I hear that and I might think, okay, they're just reading their resume back to me. How do you add that human touch?
Yes. That's the crucial 5th element. You absolutely have to finish with a quick, positive personality trait.
Okay.
Something that connects to the job, like I'm a friendly person, or maybe I find I'm very organized, or even I like working in teams.
So that shifts it from just a list of facts.
Exactly. To a conversation with someone who sounds, relatable, someone you might want to work with.
Okay, structure, personality trait.
Yeah.
Then we need something that shows ambition, right? A closing statement.
Precisely. You finish looking forward. After you've given that snapshot of who you are, you make it clear you're ready for what's next.
Yeah.
A simple phrase like, I'm excited to learn more and grow in this job. It just signals immediate enthusiasm and readiness.
Shows you're focused on the future with them.
Right. Not just stuck talking about your past.
Okay, moving on. The second big one, why do you want this job? The sources seem to warn against answers that are, too complicated or sound rehearsed.
Yeah, because complexity can sometimes feel like you're hiding something or just saying what you think they want to hear.
Right.
The interviewer is trying to gauge your genuine desire. So we need 2 main focuses here, kept really simple.
Which are?
1, you like the company. 2, you see real personal or professional growth there.
But hang on, just saying I like your company, that sounds weak, doesn't it?
It does. That's the critique exactly. It's too generic. You can't just leave it there.
So how do you make that simple statement actually sound like you mean it, like you've thought about it?
You did like 5 minutes of homework, minimum.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, I like your company, you connect that to something specific, a value they have, a project you saw, something from their website.
Okay. So give me an example.
Let's say you saw they just launched something about sustainability.
Right.
You could say, I want this job because I really admire your company's recent commitment to sustainable technology.
Right.
And I see this role as a perfect place to grow my skills and contribute to that specific mission.
Got it. That's the strategic bit right there.
Yeah.
You link the general, I like you, to a specific, here's why.
It makes the whole thing feel much more earned, more genuine.
So let's try a full answer, blending that company admiration with the personal growth bit.
Okay, how about I want this job because I really align with your focus on customer service, and I'm looking for an opportunity where I can grow my accounting skills within a really dedicated team.
Short, clear, shows you've thought about it. Nice. Okay, now we're getting to the really personal challenge questions. Let's talk strengths, the showcase moment.
What are your strengths? Or sometimes they phrase it, what are you good at?
Yeah, and this is where you need to blend your attitude and your actual abilities.
Yeah, we can sort of group strengths into 2 buckets, personality traits and concrete measurable skills.
Okay, let's start with personality. What kind of traits are actually valuable to mention?
Well, the sources suggest focusing on things that prove reliability and social competence. Being a hard worker is pretty standard. Okay.
Maybe a bit cliche.
Can be, but things like, I'm a good listener. That's actually fantastic.
Why a good listener? What makes that stand out?
It's powerful because it implies you manage yourself well, you have empathy. It suggests you pay attention to details, you care about getting instructions right, you respect what colleagues say.
Didn't think of it that way. It's like a practical skill disguised as personality.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then you need those basic work habits too. I work well in a team, or I'm always on time.
Yeah.
They just prove you get how workplaces function.
Okay, reliability, teamwork, listening. Got it. But like you said, we need to get past the generic. We need those concrete skills. This feels like the really crucial part for someone learning English too, right? Proving you can do stuff now.
Absolutely. Look, if you only say I'm a hard worker, that's subjective. Anyone can say that.
Right.
But if you say I'm a hard worker and I can use Microsoft Word and Excel proficiently, now that's objective. That's verifiable evidence.
Specificity matters. matters.
Hugely. And always mention language skills if you have them relevant to the job. I speak English and Spanish.
So if someone has like a lot of skills, how do they choose which specific one to highlight?
Great question. The smart move is to look at the job description again. What are they emphasizing?
Tailor it.
Exactly. If the job description is all about data entry and communication, you highlight Excel and maybe that good listener skill.
Okay.
If it's about project management, you focus on being organized, detail-oriented. You're essentially echoing their needs back to them, using your skills as the example.
Okay, let's model that. Blend the attitude and the ability.
How about this? I'm reliable and I learn fast. I also work well in a team and I'm proficient in using Excel for data analysis. I feel I'm ready to contribute immediately.
Short, focused, connects to a specific skill. Nice. All right, that brings us to the minefield question, the one everyone seems to dread.
What is your weakness?
Yeah. People try so hard to game this one, picking a fake weakness like,
That's the classic trap. And interviewers see right through it. It actually raises a good point. Why do they even ask this?
Yeah, what are they really looking for?
They're not usually looking for a fatal flaw that means you can't do the job. They're testing two key things: self-awareness.
You know yourself.
Right. And second, commitment to continuous improvement. Can you learn? Can you grow?
So the strategy isn't really about hiding the weakness.
No, it's about maximizing how you demonstrate growth from it.
Okay, explain that.
You need to be honest about a genuine area for development, but then immediately pivot to the steps you are actively taking right now to overcome it.
The action part is key.
It's everything. The second you show you're aware and you're working on it, the weakness stops being just a negative. It actually becomes evidence of your dedication.
Okay, but wait, let's say I'm learning English, right? And maybe my weakness is related to communication. Like I speak too fast sometimes when I'm nervous. Isn't mentioning that risky? Don't they think I can't handle a job in English?
That's a really common fear and it's valid. But the sources suggest that a communication weakness, if it's managed well in the answer, is actually okay.
How so?
Because it shows you're tackling the real challenge of working in a second language head on. The key is all in the phrasing.
Okay.
If you just say, I speak too fast, that's not great. But if you say, sometimes when I'm focusing hard, I speak a bit too fast, but I'm actively learning to slow down by pausing before I answer questions. See the difference?
Yeah, you're showing a strategy. You're telling a story about how you're fixing it.
Exactly. You're demonstrating self-correction.
So can we break that down more? What kinds of weaknesses are generally safe to mention and which ones are absolute red flags?
Okay, safe weaknesses usually fall into a couple of categories. One is a skill gap in a secondary area of the job, something you can definitely learn.
Like a specific piece of software.
Right. I don't have much experience with this particular CRM software, but I've already started the online tutorials this week. Action.
Okay, what else is safe?
Minor personal habits that don't fundamentally affect your reliability or teamwork. Maybe you're naturally a bit shy.
How would you frame that?
Well, I can sometimes be a little shy initially in large groups, but I'm working on my communication skills by actively volunteering to lead short team updates.
Yeah.
Again, showing the effort.
Got it. So what are the absolute deal breakers? The weaknesses you should never mention?
Anything that hints at a lack of basic professional integrity or organization.
Yeah.
Never say you're often late, or that you procrastinate, or you have trouble following instructions, or you don't like adapting to change.
Why are those so bad?
Because those suggest you can't manage yourself effectively. And honestly, no amount of, but I'm improving, is likely to rescue an answer like that. It fundamentally questions your suitability for any professional role.
I see. So it's about choosing a weakness that once you fix it, makes you an even better employee.
Yes.
Rather than choosing one that suggests you might be a fundamentally unreliable one right now.
Precisely. You're using the question to spin a narrative, a story about your professional growth and evolution.
Okay, that's really helpful. Let's move towards the end game, the confident finish. This is where you really need to sell yourself, right?
Definitely. They ask, why should we hire you? This is absolutely not the time for false modesty.
What's the goal here?
It's your final pitch. The sources say you need to combine your key professional strengths, things like responsibility, being a quick learner, your work ethic, into one clear, confident statement.
Answering the unspoken question, why are you the best person for us right now?
Exactly that.
Okay, give us the model answer. Short, powerful.
Something like, you should hire me because I'm responsible, I learn quickly, and based on everything I've learned about this role today, I'm genuinely ready to commit fully and work hard for your team.
I like that last part, based on what I've learned today. It connects back to the actual interview conversation.
Makes it feel less generic, more engaged.
Okay, last stage. The interview seems over, they relax a bit, and then they turn the tables. Do you have any questions? This feels like just politeness, but the sources flag it as really important.
Oh, it's critical. Never, ever, under any circumstances, just say no.
Why is no so bad?
Saying no sends a couple of bad signals. Either you weren't prepared enough to think of anything,
Or worse.
or worse, you're just not that interested in the actual details of the job or the company. You must ask one or two thoughtful, small questions.
Okay, what kind of questions work well? Simple, insightful ones that show you're serious, especially if English isn't your first language.
Focus on things that show you're already picturing yourself working there. Logistics, the team, what happens next.
Examples.
Good ones are, can you tell me a bit more about the team I'll be working with? Maybe add, and how the team usually collaborates.
Okay, Okay, that's practical.
Or what does a typical day look like in this role? That shows interest in the actual work.
What about training?
Good one. Asking, is there specific training provided for new employees? Shows you're proactive about getting up to speed.
Right. And then there's the final logistical question, the one about timing.
Yes, it's always okay and actually quite professional to ask about the timeline.
How do you phrase that smoothly?
After you thank them for their time, you can just combine it. Thank you so much for your time today. I really enjoyed learning more about this position. Could you let me know when I might expect to hear back about the next steps in the process?
Polite, professional, shows you're keen.
Exactly.
Okay, that wraps up our deep dive into handling those really high-pressure interview questions. We covered the structure for the opening.
Tell me about yourself. Nailed down.
Right. The strategy for connecting strengths specifically to the job description.
Highlighting those concrete skills.
And that careful dance required for the weakness question.
Remember, the weakness question is actually a gift. It's your chance to show commitment. Practice focusing not on the flaw itself,
but on the solution.
Exactly. On that phrase that signals action. But I'm learning to slow down. Or, but I'm practicing every day.
And the final practical advice from the sources is key too. Practice these answers out loud. Oh, absolutely. Don't just think them through in your head.
Why is speaking them so important?
When you practice actually saying them slowly, carefully, you give your brain that crucial time and the right words. And that's how you build real fluency and, importantly, confidence.
Confidence really is the key thread through all of this, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? We've talked about the language, the specific phrases, but maybe the real measure of your confidence comes right at the very end. Think about the mindset shift. When you confidently ask, when will I hear back from you? Or what are the next steps? What does that signal to an employer?
It says you're not just sitting there hoping for a job.
Right. It says you see yourself as a viable candidate, someone who is organized, engaged, and ready to move forward. That subtle shift in attitude, that expectation, maybe that's the most powerful tool you actually carry into that interview room.
Well said. Keep practicing.
Keep practicing. Focus on that positive framing, and we wish you the very best of luck.